Well, hello everyone and a very warm welcome. Thank you for your participation in the Hinrich Foundation Sustainable Trade Challenge. My name is Steve Olson. I'm a senior research fellow at the Hinrich Foundation in Singapore. My career began in Washington, D.C. many years ago as a U.S. trade negotiator, and for the past 25 years or so, I've been based in Asia or the Middle East, holding senior executive positions in the private sector, NGOs, and academic institutions. Now, I've run this Sustainable Trade Challenge on numerous occasions for students from literally around the world. And based on that experience, I can tell you that you're going to be in for a truly engaging, interesting, and exciting learning experience that will challenge you to weigh the sometimes complicated trade-offs we face in sustainable trade, while at the same time maintaining your professional equilibrium under the very high pressure situation of making a presentation to the president or the prime minister of a country. Now, as with many things in life, the more that you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it. So I would strongly encourage you to jump into it with both feet. What I'd like to do now is take just a couple of minutes and briefly share with you a few tips and suggestions that I think will help you succeed in this exercise. Now, the first thing I would suggest you keep in mind is that this is really very much of a two-pronged challenge. You're going to need to develop strong intellectual content and also produce a professional caliber proposal and presentation. Keep in mind, and this point is absolutely critical, when you engage in this exercise, you are no longer students and you are no longer in a classroom. You are very highly paid professional sustainable trade consultants, and you're in a national capital making a presentation to a president or prime minister in their cabinet room. The second suggestion I'd offer you is to really dig into the Sustainable Trade Index workbook that's available on the Hinrich Foundation website. This is really your foundational resource. So what is it that the STI is telling you about your country? What is the story here? Now, once you start digging into the STI, I think you're going to be very impressed with its functionality and the variety of different ways that it allows you to slice, dice, and compare the data contained therein. The third suggestion that I would offer you is that you absolutely must master the brief. You absolutely must understand sustainable trade and the difficult trade-offs that we sometimes need to evaluate. Now, look, I'm very happy to tell you that there are instances in which the economic, societal, and environmental objectives of sustainable trade are entirely in alignment and are entirely mutually supportive. So, for example, we've all heard of examples of manufacturing processes which are clean and green and also have the added benefit of being more economically efficient. So that's the proverbial win-win situation, good for the environment, good for the economy. There are no difficult trade-offs there that anybody has to weigh. In this exercise, your life will not be that easy. You will have to evaluate the tough trade-offs when some of those objectives, be they economic, be they societal, or be they environmental, are in fact not in alignment and are in some instances, frankly speaking, contradictory. The fourth point, the fourth suggestion that I would draw your attention to is, at its heart, at its core, this exercise is really about research and brainstorm, research and brainstorm, research and brainstorm. You're going to, after you dig into the STI, you're going to need to do additional research to contextualize the performance of your country. You're probably going to learn more about sustainable trade than you ever knew, and you're almost certainly going to learn more about your country than you ever knew before. Then you are going to need to brainstorm solutions with your teammates. How is this country going to improve its trade sustainability? How is this country going to improve its score on the Sustainable Trade Index? And what are the specific actionable recommendations that you are going to be providing to the President or Prime Minister? Now, an important side note here. Do not be afraid of disagreements as you brainstorm solutions with your teammates. Do not be afraid to challenge their assumptions or their recommendations, because this is what the President or Prime Minister are going to do when you get in front of them. Now, eventually, however, irrespective of how spirited your debates and your discussions might be among your teammates, you eventually must reach consensus on what you are going to be recommending to the President or Prime Minister. Final point, keep in mind this needs to be a tightly focused, highly professional caliber presentation, and that does not happen by magic. You're going to need to prepare, polish, and practice this presentation. So my strong advice to you is don't spend all of your time on the research and the brainstorming and then leave an inadequate period of time to put the presentation together. Make sure you leave yourselves enough time to produce a presentation worthy of a president or a prime minister. So look, once again, thank you very much for participating in this exercise. I can promise you 3 things. Number 1, you're going to work very hard. Number 2, you're going to learn a lot. And number 3, you're definitely going to have at least a little bit of fun and maybe even a great deal of fun. So once again, thank you very much for this. I wish you all good luck and the best. Thank you very much.